I really was reluctant to review episode 9 just because my favorite couple didn't end up together. I was feeling some type of way and I needed a couple of days to sort of regroup and see where I stand. Anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing the Ultimatum South Africa, Season 1, Episode 9. I'm a bit surprised with the way the episode went, because we left, a cliffhanger where we had Cesar and Kateko having this conversation about what their options were in regards, if they didn't go back to their original partners, would they continue from where they dropped off? And then suddenly we have Kateko and Kanya sort of having their moment. And it's like, what happened? The editing didn't make sense. And I personally feel these two couples should have been at the end. They should have started off either with Ruth or with Courtney. Maybe they thought the other two couples were boring and they decided to start with these two. Anyway, you have a monologue being shown, obviously, of the couples and their journey, and you have Kateko and sort of Kanya sort of speaking about their journey. Kateko is reflecting on his journey, first of all, in the first part of his ultimatum journey, marriage trial with Cesar, and how he felt guilty about giving parts of himself to Cesar, and also then how the second part went, where he had to practice a lot of emotional intelligence, because that was very tough, because he had this amazing journey with Cesar where the only hiccup was the fight with Kanya. Otherwise, everything else seemed to be going great for them. He said yes, there were problems, but as he said to the guys, it's how you deal with the problems. And with Cesar, it seemed they were always able to deal with their problems very amicably and move on. Kanya is talking about, I gave him an ultimatum, today is the day. She's excited. I think Kanya gave an ultimatum because she wanted this out of this world proposal. She knew that Netflix would put out quite a spread for this, fantastic proposal. So she was excited because she's the one who gave the ultimatum. She was already standing there. He came down. They were saying, oh, you look beautiful, you look beautiful. It's like, okay, I feel some type of way. Anyway, he gave her a promise ring. Am I surprised he gave her a promise ring? No. Do I think he was right? Yes. I do not think he should have proposed to her, 1. I do not think he should have broken up with her, 2, because that would have been a nightmare for him. In the sense that his mother already doesn't like Kanya. We saw a clip of the mother saying that the relationship with Kanya, in her opinion, is over. It's over. That's the end of it. When she met Cesar, because I think she fell in love with Cesar and liked Cesar for her son. And so the idea that he would have proposed to her would have been an FU to his mom, because his mom feels some type of way. 1, he asked Kanya to say, can you please make sure that you make amends with my mom and you build your relationship? She gave him a promise. So if she is willing to give him a promise to make amends with his mother, then she should be able to give him to take a promise ring from him. If she fulfills her end of the deal, then he does his, because he said, I'm not comfortable doing anything outside of this. Oh, well, who's told you that the promise ring was an option? Well, it's an option the moment you decided to promise me that you're going to make amends with my mom. Had you decided, okay, let me speak to your mom and let's see how we can mend bridges, or had you asked him, what in particular do you want me to sort of fix, or do you want me to work on? Then he would have been more keen to propose to you. But because he said his mom is his first love, he always has to put her in the forefront up until you and him are committed. And he can't commit to you if there's a lot of issues with the woman who's currently the main person in his life. So for her to be upset and to feel some type of way, I don't get it. I feel it was the best decision for him to do that. Yes, I know he felt guilty and he felt bad, and I think this is why he continued to follow her and ask her, okay, fine, let me propose to you, but know that to me a proposal means you're getting married. So I just don't want to propose just for the sake of proposing. This is why I'm giving you a promise ring. And she was, oh, well, I need a different ring. I need this. He told her, okay, I'll give you a promise ring, and then by this date, I will definitely make the proposal by your birthday. Oh, well, that's too long. I can't go. And it's like, what's the hurry? I don't get the hurry. I don't get her urgency, and I also don't get Lindel's urgency to give someone an ultimatum in 6 months. I don't get it. Oh, well, I've lowered my standards. I cannot continue to lower my standards. Why lower your standards if you're that high value love? Keep it moving. Go to people that will love you and appreciate you for who you are, and that will keep it moving. The problem you have is he coupled up with Cesar. And he got to see what peace looks like, what unconditional love looks like, what self-love looks like, what it means to have a partner that supports you and is willing to lift you up at your lowest points. And so because of that, he already said it, that Cesar has imprinted a version of what he wants in him. So you are competing with Cesar's shadow. As I said to you before, you're competing with Cesar's shadow, and it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for her from this point onwards to manipulate Nkateko as she did before. The only reason I would think that's his baby is she's decided to trap him. I'm sorry, I know it's a bad word. You remember on the Ultimatum USA, there was that girl who didn't like the girl who was sort of flirting with her partner when they came on, and then suddenly she revealed she was pregnant, and now they have a baby. That would have been the situation with Kanya and Nkateko if this child that she has is his. We are yet to find out. We'll find out in 4 days' time. Anyway, and then we go on. We have Lindel and we have Cesar. They're having their monologue. I feel like Lindel manipulated him and Kanya manipulated their partners, because they came into the experiment not expecting their partners to find someone, and then their partners found someone who they not only liked, but they were connected to emotionally, spiritually, physically attracted to. And so this is something that hit them out of left field, and this is why they felt the need to sort of manipulate them and make them feel bad for having found a connection. Even Nkateko said, I had to apologize to Kanya because I gave parts of myself to Cesar. And Cesar, we all saw her apologizing to Lindel in the previous episode about the fact that she had a connection with Nkateko that was so deep, the fact that she was willing to sort of make out with him in public. She had to apologize for that. And so for him to say, if she says no, I'll be heartbroken. I think this was an opportunity for Nkateko. This was an opportunity for him to increase his brand. He's a model. We all know, if you go on his Instagram, he's got pictures of him modeling. I feel this was an opportunity to increase his brand. Do I think he really loved Cesar that much to give an ultimatum? His actions don't show that. When they walked in, everybody else walked in on day one holding their partner's hands. He wouldn't hold Cesar's hands. When they went on that date, he was complaining that I wanted to go with Ruth and now I've been left with Cesar. This is the worst case scenario. When Cesar broke down, he didn't even break the fourth wall and sort of ran to check on her at the coupling up ceremony. So the idea that suddenly he's in love with her and she's the love of his life, I'm not getting it. And also, on the clips that we saw on the monologue, all of them, when it was time for intimacy, for a kiss or whatever, Cesar seemed to be the one initiating everything. And yet, when she was with Nkateko, it was mutual. This seemed more one-sided, like Cesar was making more of an effort. So I don't get his comments. I feel he manipulated Cesar and manipulated Nkateko by making them both feel guilty, in the sense that he told Nkateko that, oh, don't take my girl from me. And the fact that he had Cesar apologize for having had this strong connection and having had these intimate moments in his presence, or in a place where he could see. That's my opinion. Cesar obviously spoke about the fact that if she says yes to him, then she's closing the door to Nkateko. She said she was 80% there, and for me it's like, if you're 80% there, why are you accepting the proposal? I don't get that. But at the same time, I feel like it was important for Nkateko and Cesar to go back to their original partners, in the sense that Nkateko needed to make sure that he had reached the end of the road with Kanya before moving on to anyone else, and he needed to heal. On Cesar's part, she said that Nkateko is a great guy. He's great guys are difficult to leave because they're amazing, and she saw a speed bump. And I think the speed bump she meant was Kanya, because his mom really loves her, and the mom already said she's over Kanya and she believes the relationship with Kanya is over. So I think Cesar was worried, given the fact that the last time they had this blowout with Kanya, things didn't go so well for their relationship. And I think she didn't want to have to put up with that sort of situation, because she said, oh, Lindel is difficult, Lindel is vindictive. So it's like, if it's that, why are you saying yes to him? I don't get that proposal and the acceptance as well. That is very confusing for me. I'm still mind blown. The producers are messy, because you could have easily have skipped over the Aiden and Courtney engagement, because it was just a blimp. We didn't even get to see their journey throughout the experiment, just because it was very vague. I think they were very boring, and we all know that the producers want the drama, they want the romantic story, they want the toxic couple. So I'm not surprised. that they didn't really show much. Are we surprised that they got engaged? No, they were always going to get engaged. I think maybe since Aiden, needed a bit of booster in his pocket, maybe this is why they came on the show, so that he could get a fancy ring. It was cute. It was cute. They're very rigid and very... I don't understand them, Aiden and Courtney. So it's going to be interesting to see at the reunion. Chances are, I think they'll still be together. I know they'll still be together. There's no chance that they would have broken up. I think they might have taken a couple of steps back, but they'll still be together. Ruth and Isaac are actually a revelation for me, because I didn't expect them to make the decision that they made. Well, I did expect it, but I didn't expect their sort of meetup to be that cordial and that respectful. This is what Nkateko was asking when he said to Kanya, let us be respectful, civil, regardless of whatever decision we make. And I think I have to give them a lot of credit. We all knew this relationship wasn't going to work, because these were two self-centered people. They remind me of Lindel, because during Lindel's proposal, all he spoke about was what Cesar does for him. There was nothing positive about Cesar. He was even surpassed by someone who didn't propose to Cesar. Nkateko had way more nice things to say about Cesar, and so it's shocking. And so I'm not surprised that these two have decided to say no to one another. I think their breakup was inevitable. The moment Ruth slept with Nkateko, and the moment Isaac decided to choose to couple up with Kanya instead of coupling up with Lebo, even though we knew that Lebo was more his stride. And so am I surprised? No, I'm actually surprised at how the conversation went and how respectfully they broke up. Yeah, it makes sense. There were a lot of things wrong in that couple, so there was no way they were ever going to work. The fact that how could Isaac propose to her after she had sex with someone on the show, where she gave him an ultimatum, and then take him home to his family and have them see her in 3D, in 4K having sex? That would have been, we all know African parents. And also, I don't get how, on her part, Ruth could have taken, Isaac, given the things that she said about him, the fact that the sex, it seemed, wasn't that great, because she spoke about his equipment and how there was lack of attention. And so I'm not surprised that they both said no. I'm actually surprised at how well it went. I thought it would have been drama with tears and shouting and screaming, but they actually did very well, and I'm very proud of them. With Genesis and Tabby, I'm not sure. Genesis, I think he really loves this girl, but I don't know about Tabby. I don't want to say she doesn't love Genesis. No, that's not what I'm saying, but I don't know whether she's 100% in. She said she was 70%. So I don't know how we go from 70% to suddenly saying, yes, I do. I think people at times are just excited at the idea of having a proposal that they end up saying yes without really considering everything. Because she was all in on, Lindel when they were a couple, and she was saying she's falling in love. Even her family was saying she's falling in love. So for her to go from falling in love to suddenly accepting a proposal from somebody else doesn't make sense. It's the same as Cesar. It's the same as Cesar. Cesar said she was falling for Nkateko, and then suddenly she's accepting Lindel's proposal. And it makes me question, what is really going on? Are people just accepting proposals because they still want to continue to see the person they came with? Or are they really having feelings for someone that are so strong that they can't see their future without that person? I think Genesis is at that point, but I don't know about Tabby, because I have questions as to why Isaac said when he looks at Lindel and Tabby, he sees two confused adults. So I'm still wondering what that meant, and whether that means that he feels like their feelings for one another are way stronger than they're letting it be known, and he feels that maybe they're not ready to marry the people that they came into the experiment with, or they're ready to move on from those people. I don't know. We'll see. It was cute, though. It was cute. I'm a bit surprised as Courtney and Aiden got a corner shop, proposal. All they had was a carpet, and they were in a flower garden or something. And yet everybody else has had these massive setups, which makes me question, did Courtney and Aiden's money go to the ring then? Where did the money go? Where did the money go? What do I think about the season? I think the only couple, I don't even think anyone should have accepted the proposal. That's just my opinion. Because at the end of the day, you have Courtney saying we have to take baby steps. And it's like, so why did you come to the show? Did you come to the show for him to get opportunities for a career and get a ring? Or did you come to the show because you really wanted to work on this relationship and make steps to get married? You saying that we have to take baby steps tells me that you both are not ready for marriage. And chances are at the reunion they'll still be engaged without a date. Genesis and Tabby, Well, Genesis says he's ready. He's written a letter to Tabby's family. I don't know about Tabby. I really don't. I think she's still of two minds. I don't know whether she's completely let go of Lindel. And then with Lindel and Cesar, that couple, I want them to run the course of their relationship and move on. I don't think that's her person to settle down with. I don't think so, because at the start of the show, she told Isaac that she was going to get married in her 40s or 50s. She's still 29, so I don't know what suddenly happened to that gap, and I don't know what suddenly happened that's made her change her mind. And this man, I don't think, is as in love with her as he makes out. I think he likes the idea of winning her, but I don't think he's that into her as much as, we are made to believe. And then with Ruth and Isaac is right to say he needs to go and work on himself. I think anybody that goes on one of these shows, after they leave the show, they need to go and sort of go to therapy and continue the work that has started on the show. And that way they can become the best version of themselves, and not just say, okay, today we're finished the show, we're married, let's go, or we're engaged, let's go. So I don't get it. I know Cesar was saying, oh, I'm ready for anything, and it's like, I don't think so. With Nkateko and Kanya, I think this was good for them. They needed a clean break in the sense that because Kanya's pride has been bruised so much, she will never come back. She'll never come back to Nkateko. I think if she comes back, maybe she's realized that this is the best opportunity she'll have. As much as she says she's lowered the standards, I think this guy comes from money, and this is why she's able to sort of tolerate and endure whatever nonsense comes her way. I think for Nkateko, this was the best opportunity for him to sort of have a mirror shown on his relationship, and also have the opportunity to experience a different type of relationship and know that he deserves better, and know that there's better for him out there in the world, and he needs to leave this woman alone. So if nothing else, I hope at the reunion they're not together. That would be the best case scenario for him. I hope they're not together. I don't think any of the relationships really, maybe for Genesis' sake, because I really like Genesis, maybe his relationship will survive the storm, but the other couples, I don't see it. With Aiden and Courtney, it's going to be Courtney sort of dragging him along. And so, I don't know. If he wants to be dragged, then hey, the other two couples, I think they need to break up. As everybody knows, my favorite was Cesar and Nkateko all season, and I wish they could be a couple, because I think he has the bandwidth and the capacity to love her the way she deserves to love him, and she vice versa. That's just my opinion. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 8. Bye guys.